most welcome to yet another edition of the Situation Corner here on Forager Television with me, Isaac Daxe Wakalanga. Now today we're speaking the National Youth Parliament, and in this case, the Northern Regional Youth Parliament. Now today I happen to be joined by leaders from this Parliament, and today I have the Speaker of the Parliament with me and the Clerk. Now I will allow them to introduce themselves to the audience. Let me start from my left, the gentleman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. My name is Ochan Emmanuel. I am the Speaker for Northern Uganda Regional Youth Parliament.
Okay, the lady to your left.
Thank you so much. My name is Prisca Akellowanga, and I'm the Clerk of the Northern Regional Youth Parliament.
Okay, thank you for coming on the show. Now, I know that you were able to have a sitting a couple of weeks ago, and you had motions that were discussed in this sitting. But before we get into the motions, for a layman youth who is out there, because I believe many youths are laymen, but they don't agree with this fact. Most of them don't really understand that actually these parliaments are held. Could you please break it down for them? What is the essence of holding these youth parliaments? Let me start with the Speaker.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. You know, when we talk about the youth parliament, we're actually talking about a platform that gives opportunities to young people to be part of solutions to problems that affect their country. Yeah, we have a national parliament that brings legislators across board. We have youth representatives, but this does not directly engage with issues of young people at certain points. You know, we want to make young people across boards, young people irrespective of their political affiliation, irrespective of their cultural affiliation and whatever they do, to also have a say, to have political participation in whatever happens in their country. That means young people should be involved in the earlier stages of legislation of policies that run our nation. So this is like an opportunity for young people to learn issues of legislation, to learn issues of voicing their concerns, to learn issues of presenting what affects them and be part of the solutions that affect them. So this parliament happens. It's not scam as people might think, except that like it is a parliament, it requires some degree of preparation. Some efforts have to be made so you can be part of this parliament. So you don't just find yourself boom in the parliament, you know. As a parliamentarian, as somebody who's going to legislate youth issues, preparations have to take place. That's why a number of young people in northern Uganda were able to prepare themselves. When the parliament was called, people applied, and we found ourselves in this parliament. It is in this parliament that I and Prisca found ourselves there as members of parliament representing the different parts of northern Uganda where we are coming from. She happens to be the clerk, and I happen to be elected as speaker. So we feel this is a very, very lovely opportunity for young people to participate in the critical issues of legislation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me move to the clerk. Let's talk about your role as a clerk. Again, let me hedge on the youth who are watching the show, for them to understand how they're supposed to engage in political decisions and engagements. As a clerk, what are you supposed to be doing?
First of all, I would also love to add on what young people out there should know. First of all, this country is a young country. We have young people has the highest population. So then things that directly affect young people, policies and a mismatch of policies which directly affect young people that are currently happening in the parliament that we know. We have seen that mostly young people have not been part. They have deliberate. I think to some extent there is a deliberate attempt to not participate. So this parliament comes in a state where young people need to know that they have a role to play. They have, they should understand that their contribution to policies to policies advocating and all that directly will affect them. So their contribution also matters much. So for me as a clerk of the Northern Uganda Regional Youth Parliament, I directly, my direct role is to in sessions and council sittings is to streamline the different solutions that young people in the Northern Uganda Regional Youth Parliament discuss, and then thereafter we take them up for follow-up, for understanding that the different stakeholders who are part of this of the youth parliament are able to table those issues for debate in the parliament. Thank you.
Okay, again, let's move to the speaker. What's your role as speaker?
Well, on the 29th day of last month, young people trusted me to be the chair of the House. And as Speaker, I have a very, very serious responsibility. One, to guide proceedings, you know, this being an orderly discussion, this being an informed kind of engagement, it should be guided by procedures. Now, the Speaker in this particular case, which is me, has the responsibility of guiding procedures, you know. It is not like people say whatever they want to say, how they want, without taking into consideration the constraint of time. They are guided by procedures, and these procedures, the Speaker is the custodian. Number two, the Speaker take into account management of time, you know. Where there are young people, you know, we can be burning with passion, we can be burning with a lot of issues that matter. But remember, we have the constraint of time. The Speaker himself is the person solely responsible to guide presentation, to guide submissions, to make sure that these submissions are done within the constraints of time. That's number two. And three, the Speaker also takes follow-up. You know, the Speaker makes follow-up. You know, the clerk makes recommendations, puts on paper solutions or resolutions that have been reached at by young people of the region. So we make sure that when these issues affect their docket, we actually make follow-up to see that this parliament does not only take place at a regional level for young people, but issues that affect young people, because the future is young. The future of Uganda is young. These issues actually forms a basis of a fundamental discussion that takes place in our mother parliament. So I make such follow-ups, I guide procedures, I manage time, and I also take disciplinary action on members of the House. So I am a disciplinarian as a Speaker in the House. So I play an holistic responsibility as the chair of the House. Thank you.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Now let's move to some of the issues that you discussed in the previous sitting. I know that you talked about the upper land wrangle that has really affected the youth within the northern region. Give us your view, an in-depth view about this narrative.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. One of the most pressing issues that came on board was issues of land wrangles in Upper, in northern Uganda. Over time, we've seen situations where the two tribes that occupy the upper land come to clashes. We've seen the people in Ajumani, the Madi, and the Choli communities always at loggerheads. We've seen houses being burnt, we have seen crops being destroyed, we are seeing settlement being disrupted, we are seeing displacement. A lot of economic activities have come to a standstill because of these land wrangles. But as young people in northern Uganda, we feel like upper land crisis is not being given the attention it deserves. Our National Assembly, the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, should find a lasting solution to the problems facing the people in Upper over the issues of land. Because we believe the government has got all the organs. It has got the judiciary, an organ of government, the judiciary, where the issues need to have a legal redress. They have capacity to do that. Where the boundaries have to be redefined, still government is able to do that. Quite a number of young people in a number of Uganda's universities, but to be specific, Gulu University, when the recent land wrangle took place and about 10 people were killed in the tribal clashes between the Madi and the Choli, we are not able to go to school. So you find that these are pressing issues that government needs to pay attention to. That's why we feel as young people in the region, we need to ask government to expedite the processes of finding a lasting solution, whether it's going to be through mediation. But we've seen even mediation take place at various levels. We've seen negotiations also take place, but we feel like a lasting solution that will bring the two communities. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it is a Madi child or it's an Acholi child. It doesn't matter whether it is a youth from Acholi or a youth from Madi. Youth are a youth, and we believe that a lasting solution has to be got. So we believe as members of parliament of this forum, of the National Youth Parliament, we can ask government, we can ask our leaders to table these issues for discussion. And like any other issue that is pressing young people, we feel like issues of land wrangles have to be attended to. You're not going to call us lazy, we don't want to engage in agriculture, when we go and dig, or maybe we get to plow the land and end up in tribal conflicts. We lose our lives, you know. The source of economic empowerment is being undermined. So, you know, land being a very important factor of production, having issues like land wrangles, we believe that something has to be done through the ministries that have the power to do that, through the organs, the entities and government. And also, we feel like it is an awake call. It's an awake call to members of the civil society, to non-governmental organizations, to religious leaders, to cultural leaders, to rise up and speak. Their participation, their speaking about issues in APA will make a contribution to making a lasting solution. It should not just be looked at as an issue of government, but we believe that our participation, our legislation on this issue will be like an awake call, which is going to inform policymakers, is going to inform members of the public, different opinion leaders, members of the media, and various other stakeholders that will find a lasting solution to the problems that is facing the region.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Actually, before you talked about other players coming in, the religious leaders, I was about to move to that point. But allow me to carry that to the Honorable Akello. To what extent do you think have religious leaders played their part? Because I believe you are a Christian, because I know you're called Prisca. Because the Bible says that leadership is from God. So it's important for us to pay attention to our leaders. But also, to what extent have the youth within the northern region engaged with the religious leaders to find a lasting solution to this matter?
So yeah, thank you once again. So I want to believe that, first of all, the land wrangle has taken quite a time. The time has been extensive for some time, and the effects they've gone overboard. And I want to believe that the effects have not only affected young people, but also the different stakeholders, cultural leaders and church leaders. So I think the attention is that I feel, the idea of them playing the part is actually something that we can have a discussion around, but also even when they're doing their part, or even when they do therein, what is then going to happen after? Is there a response that has been given, like my speaker was saying? Is there a response that sustainably will work towards getting over that problem? I mean, Acholis and Madis not fighting over land, which I feel cultural leaders and church leaders have done their part. We have seen quite many actually cultural leaders and the leaders from the other side coming up and speaking, but the attention has not been given to them. And we also want to believe that our church leaders, even when they are in, they play their part. What then happens after? I feel this problem has gone beyond what can church leaders discuss, or their voice can contribute to that. We have seen cultural leaders' voices up, but the response has not been there. Young people, I feel it needs young people to also come on board. I feel the contribution of young people towards getting over this problem has been undermined. So can we get what young people have to say about this? Can we get their decisions and the discussion of young people to be addressed? I mean, can government go?
Allow me cut you short. You're talking about young people being undermined. I've had the talk, because it's a cultural thing within Africa for young people not to be considered to participate in leadership decisions and political narratives. But also, the president recently was chairing a meeting of a section of youth from the NRM, and he said that youth don't have ideology. They don't have the muscle to lead this nation. Okay, so you as youth, what have you done? Do you really have the capacity to affect these issues and create change? Do you really have it?
I want to respectively disagree with the idea of young people not having the ideologies, or not having the capacity to maybe give out issues that will directly, to debate issues that will directly give a sustainable solution to solving this problem. I want to we had this discussion in our sitting, in our council sitting. We had a couple of young people from across northern Uganda, and if you listen to the discussion that young people were tabling about the land wrangles,
What do they say?
they could, well, government has an interest in this land, and we have seen the president speak about upper land. So it has not been one time or two times. He has spoke up. He had a say about it, but still, young people in northern Uganda believe that the government, beyond now government, because there is an interest that the president expressed about this land, which they did not give what extensively do their interest is in the upper land. Is it that there is gold in upper? Is it that there is something there that they're not informing the people of that area? Because now, where is the fighting going on, even when we have seen him expressing interest in it? So first of all, I want to say that they have deliberately excluded young people from the discussion, even when we have tried to pull strikes to come on and get ourselves interested in the discussion. There is a deliberate, effort to put them aside, to sideline them. So I want to believe that if there is something that, young people are interested in having a place to stay. Young people are interested in having a place where they could do commercial farming. They're interested to have a place where they call home. If that is given to them and they have interest in their land, that could be something also that the government could come out and say, but it has not been said. So we don't want this thing of young people have not tried. We have seen it, and there has been a deliberate effort to sideline them. So I feel there is now this time. If there is interest, they should tell us. If it's not there, then they should give us a lasting solution to this. I feel it has affected young people a lot, and we should put an end to this.
Okay, thank you for the viewers out there. You're still watching the Situation Corner